Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GSMC Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is Mark Souza. We got plenty to talk about.
Did you say Smark Souza?
I said Mark. I was trying to say something clever, and then I was like,
respect on the name, man.
Okay, Harshwanya, that's your name now. Poop face tomato nose, that's your name. Anyways, Family Guy reference.
Tomato nose.
Anyways. We are here in the world of baseball. We got a Harper watch entering the year 2019. We also got Machado watch also entering 2019. We got some trades that affect Harper watch as well as Machado watch, depending on who you think they're going to pick up. And we also have some other things to talk about in the world of baseball. But first, we have to talk about a major trade that happened from the Dodgers to the Cincinnati Reds. Yasiel Puig is gone from the Dodgers. He's no longer a Dodger.
Puig,
the
Matt
era
Kemp,
is over.
And Alex Wood.
Well, Puig is the biggest one.
Right. They are traded to the Reds for Homer Bailey and two prospects. Alex Wood is a decent player, too, that the Dodgers traded. Nice little pitcher. So,
and then they got a pitcher back, which is his name is Homer.
Which has always been weird to me, and I always thought...
That is a... What's the
his
word?
His parents just probably thought he was going to be the next Babe Ruth, and then he ended up being a pitcher, which is
Or
good.
They really liked The Simpsons.
That's true. Or they really like The Simpsons. So you can be the judge on which theory you prefer.
Overall, with this trade,
it's a terrible name for a pitcher, though.
Homer. Oh yeah, it's bad luck. It's like a.
He's been pretty good though. He's had a good career.
Is that irony, or is that like what's the word I'm looking for? A homer that's a pitcher who's not.
That would be the same as if a batter was named Strikeout McGee or something like that.
Yeah, I can't explain how.
or Whiff Thompson, you know.
Seriously. But overall, this trade is obviously to make space for Harper or a major signing.
It would seem so, considering they freed up $16 million in a luxury cap and $7 million in total cap space to possibly make a move like getting Harper.
So well over $20 million trying to save in total to get Harper. But again, Harper is not a guarantee for the Dodgers because the Phillies can offer him even more than the Dodgers can, as well as the Yankees can. But Harper did spend 5 hours with the Nationals the other day, which I don't know. Maybe it's one of those breakup meetings. You ever have a breakup lunch and you just talk about it and just like you move on? Maybe that was what that was.
Nah, usually you just have a breakup text.
No.
That's how people.
No. I mean, after you guys break up, you go to lunch and just talk it out.
Oh,
like this is like months after.
Awkward.
This is like a month or two after you break up. You just have a lunch. Like, how are you? Just want to talk about.
Is that where you?
You never had a breakup lunch?
Is that where you project yourself as being like fine and happy and moved on and you've been working out and successful?
Yes, exactly. But
really inside you're like.
But also it's like trying to convince them to take you back. That's exactly
You're like, oh, yeah, I've been great. You know, things have been going good. Dude, I've been doing this and that. By the way, are we getting back together?
That is exactly what Netflix. Why did I say Netflix? That is exactly what the Nationals are doing in this situation. They're trying to make sure that Harper thinks that he's jealous of them. I ain't missing you at all. And he's going to bring him back. Yeah, that's their goal.
So you think the Nats are saying, look, we get it. You're seeing... what other girls are out there?
You're hooking up with other girls at the moment.
But, like, don't forget who, like, cooks you warm meals and, like, knows...
Who picked you from the bottom and rose you to the top?
And does your laundry and knows exactly what you like to eat on Friday nights and things like that. Like
knows you better than anyone. Yeah.
Like, come home, you know?
Yeah, that...
So that's what you think the Nationals are doing, huh? Oh, yeah, and we'll give you $400 million.
Yeah. Wow. Does that sound good? But again, it's
and sign here on the dotted line.
Sign here to our breakup agreement. Ha! You just signed an extension in your face.
Yep. So I'm not sure what'll happen. I did find it interesting though that the Nationals. I just listened to something saying that they flew out to California to meet Bryce Harper at his home, which pretty much tells me all I need to know about that. He's not leaving.
Yeah.
He's not going back to Washington.
Baby, come back. That's the song they were playing during the meeting for 5 straight hours.
We talked about this. So 5 hours, is that a long time? Is that a normal amount of time for a free agent visit?
For someone that's not interested in joining the team, probably yes. For Harper, it was. For the Nationals, it probably went really quickly.
I'm just not sure. I want to know, is there a reporter out there, journalist, that can tell me what the average time allotted to per free agent visit is? Because then when somebody says he met with 5 hours, we can actually put some context to it, right? Like, what does that mean? Is that normal? Is that below average? Is that above average? Is that great? Is that terrible?
Well, it depends, I guess.
Yeah, so I want to know. But the Dodgers, after making this trade, going back to the trade, Puig, Kemp, and Alex Wood to the Reds for Homer Bailey and 2 prospects, they have now jumped up as the odds-on favorite to win the Harper sweepstakes. Are you convinced that they'll be the team that lands Bryce Harper?
I don't know.
Would you say that they're the front runner?
Probably.
It doesn't really make sense that they would make the trade that they did without a bigger move in mind, right?
Yeah,
I know
honestly,
you're saying that Kemp isn't as good as before.
I still think that the Phillies are the favorites because they can offer way more than the others. Well, maybe not way more, but they can offer more.
I have a question.
Okay.
If the Phillies can offer the most,
do
you think they've already offered him the most? Like, I'm just wondering if they can offer the most, and that was his goal, then why isn't this already a done deal? I guess. Or is he just trying to squeeze every last dime?
Oh, he's definitely trying to squeeze every last dime.
Is it like the beginning of DuckTales where he jumps into the gold?
You mean like Scrooge McDuck? Yeah, exactly. That's what he wants. He wants to jump, and then it's like Family Guy where he actually hurts himself very viciously because it's not a liquid; it's a solid matter.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I think we just gotta come to terms that Bryce Harper will be playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I'm not sure that's right.
I know that it's right. I'm so confident in this.
I don't know. I'm still wary.
Where did the Nationals meet with Harper again?
Was it at his house?
In Southern California.
Yeah. I don't remember that part.
Let's see. Play for the Dodgers, live on the beach.
Or don't
play in 12-degree temperatures. That sounds fun.
Philadelphia
gets cold.
Yeah, they're never going to play in that. They're never that. Well, they don't. They don't play in the wintertime.
That's even better reason not to go to Philadelphia because they never play when it's cold. So don't go there. The Yankees play when it's cold. The Red Sox play when it's cold.
October doesn't really get that cold compared to
Phillies
November.
The Phillies do not
what
play
are
when
you
it's
talking
cold.
About?
It gets pretty dang cold.
They've played weren't they in the playoffs last year?
No.
The Phillies, are you sure?
The Brewers are in the playoffs. The Braves are in the playoffs.
The Phillies were fighting for a playoff spot. They were in the running.
They didn't make the playoffs.
They were in the running,
They're a young team, but the Braves won that division comfortably, and then the Cubs and the Brewers were the wild card game.
Well, adding Harper.
The Phillies have been rebuilding since Roy Halladay, rest in peace. But it's for real, since him and what's his name? Who's the other pitcher? The lefty, Hamels. When Halladay and Hamels were tearing it up.
Cliff Lee was also on that team. If you remember,
that was a good team.
Yeah,
heck of a pitching staff, that's for sure.
Well, I'm just gonna say that nothing is set in stone yet.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean.
I'm going to say that until he signs on a dotted line for whatever team. He could play for the Tampa Bay Rays for all we know.
That will not happen.
I know. I think that's the joke. But I'm saying that nothing is for certain.
You're right. Nothing is certain until it happens. But in terms of the Dodgers are kind of been the sleeping giant in this whole process, and kind of the murmurs behind closed doors has been, what if the Dodgers go and make a move for Harper? Well, I think this is the precursor. And yes, they will have to go into the luxury tax big time to get Harper, but I think they'll do it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make him an offer. I'm saying the most they're going to offer him is like $450.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but the Phillies can offer like $500.
Right, and I'll ask you again, if you had the choice between, let's say, $450 and $500, one's in LA, one's in Philly, where are you going?
Well, see, you asked me this question when it came to $400 to $500,
all right,
and I said I'd take $500.
So if it was $400 in LA or $500 in Philadelphia, remember Harper
an extra $100 million.
Harper's a West Coast guy,
right?
$100 million, yes, but he can live in Los Angeles, have a better chance of doing shows and movies and other types of media, billboards, living in the biggest.
He can get the same endorsements.
I don't think he can.
It's Bryce Harper that's the commodity, not the team.
It's also the area, though. You reach a lot more people in Los Angeles than you do in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Not that Philly's small, but it's not Los Angeles.
That's Coastus. Coast. I don't know.
Like
racist to coast.
Well, the West Coast is the best coast. I mean, I think we can all agree on that.
I
right?
think people in East Coast that listen to this will beg to differ.
What about people on the Gulf Coast? You think they're like, hey,
I don't.
like guy in the back of the room, like, hey, what about the Gulf Coast? No,
just no. But I will say that. Once again, I'm putting my money on the Phillies taking this.
I think the Phillies don't get anyone.
They're going to get at least Machado. They have that much money to spend, and no one's going to offer that? No one's going to take it? No, I call baloney.
Mm-hmm. But what if they don't get either one? Would that just be?
Oh, it's a failure. It's an abject failure of an offseason.
I mean, they did say they're trying to spend stupid money this offseason, right?
Yeah, it's an abject failure if they don't get either.
It would actually be beneficial for the other free agents, right? Like the other guys, like Yasmani Grandal, or
like I said, they don't get either Machado or Harper. They failed.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is.
I would agree with that. Something about Bryce Harper, though, I think, like if he wanted the money, I think he'd have already signed, but I think it's worth more to him than maybe going to. What about the Yankees? Are the Yankees a possible destination?
Yes, the Yankees. Yankees will always be a destination for everybody, like a certain shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of a shortstop that could go there?
Yeah, I think we can talk about that when we come back from a break.
I see.
Before, though, let me tell you about audiobooks. Why would you listen to audiobooks? Well, you're in the car. You don't want to listen to the same songs over and over again. Why don't you listen to something that will pique your interest, inspire you, motivate you? And there's no better place to do that than with Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, you get 3 titles of your choice, 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs that you can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it for free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMC book, or you can text GSMC book to 500-500. You can do that today. Get started with that free 30-day trial.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Target Zero.
Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast. We finished talking about Machado and Harper. We'll probably still talk about them more, but there was a certain signing to the New York Yankees that we were kind of spoiling.
Oh, is there?
And I want you to read it off because I promoted that to you.
Troy Tulowitzki has signed with the New York Yankees.
No one really expected that, to be honest. People were looking at him and going to a National League NL West type of team like the Dodgers or the Giants, but then he goes to the Yankees in a league minimum.
Yes, and for the Yankees, I mean, I think for any team, but I think for any team it's a good move because you pay him $500,000. You get a guy who's been an all-star, 6 times before? Yeah, he's been hurt a lot. Maybe he'll never be back to that level, but hey, I
think he's worth more than $500,000, though.
Well, fortunately for the Yankees, the Blue Jays are paying $19 million for Troy Tulowitzki to play for the Yankees this year. Now, I was alluding to this, but I think that even makes more sense for the Yankees to sign Tulo because why not stick it to a team in your division, you know?
Yeah, true.
Like Tulo comes to the team, he gets to play the Blue Jays. What if he helps the Yankees win more games, make the playoffs, maybe make a run? We know the Yankees are, built to win now, but you like this move for the Yankees, I'm assuming.
It's the right move defensively, for sure.
Do you think that he'll play shortstop? I know that he'll play shortstop while DD is out. But do you think he'll be more of like a utility player once the Yankees are fully healthy?
He'll be a solid player for them. He can only benefit them, in my opinion.
So what about Machado? Because the Yankees are one of the front runners for Manny.
That's where I think Manny's going to go in the long run.
Does this move deter them from going after Manny?
No. They can still get Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to change.
Well, they barely are paying Tulo anything, so it's not going to be a money thing, that's for sure. Machado, though, that's, I guess, where this conversation is going. Harper and Machado, they still have not signed. And I think we have to just say something. Baseball offseason, what's up with it? Like, free agency hits and, like, nothing happens, it seems like. Like, it seems so prolonged, doesn't it?
It seems kind of slow. I agree.
Is there something that baseball can do to make this more exciting time? Because the NBA and the NFL are for sure more exciting in the offseason. With both of those sports, you have the draft, and free agency seems to mean like a little bit more. At least have a little bit more action, a little bit more excitement. Is this with baseball? Is it less exciting because baseball's kind of fallen behind some of these other sports? Do you think, or do you think it's just the way that I don't know how long the offseason is compared to some of the other sports?
I think it's just because baseball is just on a downhill slump. That's just how it is. It's just because so many other sports are being.
We know that the fall and the winter is just dominated by the NFL and the NBA. I mean, so that has something to do with it, but it. Does Machado and Harper, like, not getting signed, though, for long periods of time, does that kind of ruin some of the hype for you?
Yeah, it does. Because it's just, like, and the process of this, what's going on, is going so slow. You know what I mean? Just, like, the process of all these signings is, usually in the NFL, there's signings happening left and right.
And since so many teams are in on Harper and Machado, it stops them from going after other free agents if they still think they have a chance.
But even with these other free agents, it's like, okay. But when you look at like the NFL or the NBA, it's like every signing matters. In baseball, they sign mainly a lot of people to minor league deals.
Yeah, so if you have like 10 to 12 teams, that are in on a guy like Machado and Harper, then it's going to stop them from giving big money to another player who could help them until they figure out if they're out of the sweepstakes for one of these two guys, right?
Yeah.
So, as for the Yankees, they're still very much in on Manny Machado. I don't know how big their interest is on Harper. Sounds like Harper, the front runner, is the Dodgers and then the Phillies. But for Machado, it's the Yankees and the Phillies. And the Yankees seem to be second place on both of these players' lists, at least from
I think it's
the
just because of
betting community.
location, not on money. They have the money, so they're second. But it's mainly due to the fact that they're in Philadelphia and not a huge market.
Mm-hmm. And I guess going back to what we talked about with Harper is that the problem here? Is it the market? Because would Harper and Machado have already signed with the Dodgers or the Yankees if they had the money that the Phillies had to spend?
I don't know. That's a whole different can of worms. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like that I don't know.
Let me ask you who is more marketable, Manny
Okay.
Machado or Bryce
Harper. No question in my mind.
But what about Manny Machado possibly being the most marketable person to the Latin community?
Well, I understand that part, but bottom line for me is he's known to be a dirty player, known to be a poor sport. Harper has that about him too, but he also has a lot of highlights. And Machado, his highlights are kicking a guy on the base path, throwing his bat intentionally, trying to hit the pitcher. If you remember that from way back when he got tagged, quote unquote, too hard, and he threw his helmet and started whining about the tag, even though it was the clean tag. There was something bad about it. And that's the highlights of Machado. Harper's highlights are him hitting a home run so far that I think it's still in the air today. You know?
I mean, I see what you're saying, but is that just your perception, or is that what people think?
I think that's what people think, because if you go on YouTube and look at all the highlights of like Machado or Harper.
But Harper gets into it too. Like,
yeah, but
we've
not,
seen him
but
fight.
not
We've seen.
Oh no, they're both bad.
We've seen him be very emotional.
I'm
throw his
not
helmet.
condoning what Harper does, but I'm just saying Machado does some things that are just more dirty, like more cheap shots. Harper gets in your face and he'll fight you. Machado sometimes gives you a little cheap shot. But that's what I've seen. That's my personal opinion. And from the looks of it, if you go on YouTube and stuff, you see a lot of those videos of Machado doing that, as well as Harper, true. But you see Machado, like you see the comments on the videos of saying Machado's a dirty player, and here they're on YouTube when it has like 5 million hits. So it's not just the perception of me. I think it's perception of a lot of people. But obviously when it comes down to marketing, Harper is the most marketable just due to the fact that he's got the sponsorships already, and it can only go up from there. Machado still needs to earn a lot of more sponsorships, and Harper is way ahead of him in that.
I think Machado is more marketable, but it has a lot to do with him in the Latin community. Like, if he plays for the Yankees, even the Dodgers still, that was I feel like he became like so much more of a household name when he got traded from Baltimore to the Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like that really changed perception, I believe. I think if he plays for the Yankees, I think that would even be bigger. The pinstripes, I can just see the marketing that can be done in places like Venezuela, Puerto Rico, you know what I mean? Cuba, things like that. So from that aspect, we know how big baseball is in the Latin community. Mm-hmm. Besides soccer, of course, it is the biggest sport. Some of these countries, it is bigger than soccer, in fact. So it's an interesting conversation because, you know what? Harper's pretty marketable. The problem, though, baseball doesn't do very well at marketing their players. For example, you know what always cracks me up? It's actually pretty sad. I bet you the average American sports fan doesn't know what Mike Trout looks like.
Oh, I disagree. Mike Trout's all over the place.
The average, really? Where do you see Mike Trout?
He's on a lot of commercials. Like, he does a lot of different
I don't know
things.
what I know who Mike Trout is, and I know exactly what it looks like, but I don't know what he represents in terms of marketing.
I think he's on a lot of just when you see baseball posters and stuff, he's one of the main ones you see. And
one of the main ones we see, okay. I think like a guy like Kershaw's been more marketed. A guy like obviously Stanton is a bigger face. Aaron Judge. And that
I disagree with that.
A
one.
lot of it has to do
I
with
highly
New York.
disagree with him. Mike Trout is way more popular than Aaron Judge.
I don't think so, man. Like Mike Trout's the best baseball player in my opinion, but I don't think he's more marketable.
I have to disagree with you on that one. That's wrong.
So you're telling me that if you ask 10 sports fans, average sports fans, some baseball fans, some not, but just average sports fans, if you ask 10, let's say 100 people, if you ask 100 people on the street who this person was and it was a picture of Mike Trout, and you ask the same people, 100 people who this was and it was a picture of Aaron Judge, that more people would recognize Mike Trout.
Are they wearing their hat, like Angels hat, randomly? If they're
No.
Just okay, then.
But I mean, even if they would,
I wouldn't say they would. Okay,
Aaron Judge
of
with
course
the
it
Yankees
has,
hat's pretty noticeable, right?
and
I
then
mean,
Mike Trout with the Angels hat is very noticeable
I
as
know.
well. That's
I
why
would say
take off their hats. That's a whole different story. And I still think Mike Trout is more recognizable than Aaron Judge.
it's an interesting conversation.
But you can't say, oh, you got to do in L.A. or New York. That's not fair.
No. I'm just saying
Random.
average.
Let's do it in.
You could do it in Oklahoma.
Yes, Texas will be a good place too.
I would say most people would recognize Aaron Judge for sure.
I wish we can do this. I wish we can do this, but we're in California, and people will recognize Mike Trout more
See,
here.
the thing about Mike Trout is that he's never really played. Like, has he made the playoffs? Like, has he?
Yeah, they made the playoffs. I think the first.
Yeah, like it's been a while though, right? Like,
well, that's not his fault. His
the
team's
problem
terrible.
is that when you look at Mike Trout's numbers, he is on a pace to be one of the top 10 baseball players of all time, like literally of all time. I know that sounds crazy. But like when you look at all the advanced stats, everything like that, the guy just does it all. And it's like he should be the face of baseball. He should be the best marketable player in the game, but he's not. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a lot has to do with him playing for the Angels, but I feel like baseball doesn't really market him that well. Maybe it's the team.
Well, the team's terrible around him. That's for sure.
Mike Trout should be on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball all the time.
Wasn't he the captain of the All-Star game?
I don't know.
Pretty sure he was. And I'm pretty sure he was mic'd during the All-Star game. He was talking on live television during the All-Star game. So, I don't know. I just see him.
He's just like never in the face of. I don't know. Like, he's never the face of Major League Baseball for some reason. And it might be because his team is not good. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I still believe he's more popular than Aaron Judge, though.
Aaron Judge, though, man, that wave was really big, and he's noticeable because he's so big.
Well, he's tall. That's not very.
He's
like
very,
everyone's gonna notice him.
But
Because
he's also
tall.
very interesting looking too. Like he's very.
Call him ugly.
No, I'm not saying he's ugly, but he is definitely. You notice him. A lot of it has to do with his size. Like, that guy's a giant for
Isn't
a
he
baseball player.
6'9"?
He's like 6'7" or 6'8" for a baseball player like that.
He should be playing basketball.
Like,
to be
look
honest.
how, okay, for example, Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson was huge. Like, that was a big reason why he was so cool, right? Like, he was so popular.
And he threw that sidearm pitch, which was rare at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Randy Johnson, don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but, like, if he wasn't so tall and abnormal looking, like, maybe he's not as popular.
Can I also add the fact that probably if he doesn't hit that bird,
that was pretty cool.
that's his most iconic thing. So people are like, oh, that's the guy that hit the bird, right? That's what mainly people would say.
I will say that was one of the craziest things. The bird, like, flying around. Like, the feathers, I mean, just... It's almost like it exploded.
It disintegrated. It basically just popped. That's for sure.
All right. So
well,
I want to read you something real quick.
Okay, read me something before we go to break.
The number one jersey sold in baseball is Aaron Judge in the 99
is
jersey.
It?
Yes.
Well, it's a Yankees jersey compared to an Angels jersey. That
I
doesn't mean
know.
recognizable.
Second is Chris Bryant.
Again, Cubs
Mm-hmm.
won a World Series. Continue.
Then Rizzo, then Kershaw, then Harper.
Well, I say
Mike Trout is number 8.
Again, an Angels jersey is not as sexy as a Yankees jersey or a Dodgers
Buster
jersey.
Posey's number 6. And Yadier Molina's number 7.
Yadier Molina, really?
Cardinals.
Well, all St. Louis has is the Cardinals.
But isn't
now.
that weird? Trout is behind.
You can even feel that's wrong.
He's behind Rizzo. Kershaw
Okay.
makes sense. Harper makes sense. But Posey, and I know he won a few World Series, but the Giants aren't really.
He's
a
also
national
been
team.
on a lot of commercials too.
But is Posey on national commercials? I know he's does Toyota for regionally, but is he a national guy?
Honestly, you can even make the argument Posey's one of the most recognizable faces in baseball too.
He is. Yeah. All right. Anyways,
But I will have to say, Mike Trout is just on the wrong team market wise.
he is so good.
He's on the wrong team. We can agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
If he was on the Dodgers, we would say completely different. He would be more recognizable than anyone else. Or if he was on, even if he was on a team that made the playoffs constantly,
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Jays.
So, I want to read you something real quick.
Okay.
That list I read you was from 2017. This is the 2018 list.
Okay.
Aaron Judge is number 1 still. Jose Altuve is number 2. Javier Baez, number 3. Kershaw, 4. Mookie Betts, 5. Anthony Rizzo, 6. Chris Bryant, 7. Oh, you're gonna slap yourself when you hear this.
What?
He's not even the most sold jersey on his own team.
No, shut up.
Shohei
Albert-
Ohtani.
Oh my.
But I get it.
No, that's no.
Shohei Ohtani he's a novelty. He's a novelty.
I know. But that's wrong.
Stanton, 9. Yadier Molina, 10.
Stanton. Okay, I understand Sam because he went to a new team. When you go
Number
to a new,
11 is Mike Trout.
when you go to a new team, especially the Yankees, your jersey's gonna sell. That's
Number
all I'm
11 is Mike Trout. Number 12 is Posey. Get this. Bryce
saying. Wait,
Harper.
who was number 11? Who was number 10?
Yadier Molina still.
I don't agree with that one.
Well, it's just the number. It's just the rankings of how jersey sales.
I know, but I'm saying that I don't know why he's getting his jersey sold so often.
It is interesting, though, that Harper fell to number 13.
I think because how bad the Nationals were last year.
And probably just because a lot of people expected him to
I
leave.
told you, it's based off team performance as well.
Well, I think a lot of that Harper's has because they expect him to leave, right? You're not going to buy a Harper jersey thinking that he's going to be off the team in 2 months.
That makes it a throwback jersey. Does it not?
Yeah, but if you're a 10-year-old kid and your dad's like, yeah, but he's not going to play on the team next year, you're like, oh, I don't want his jersey.
Yeah. And Aaron Judge is more height than face, my personal opinion.
He's just huge. He plays for the most marketable.
Yeah.
The Yankees jersey and hat is the most marketable
I feel like
thing.
just because when they're Yankee, it doesn't say Judge on the back of the Yankees home jersey.
It just
says 99.
But 99 is a cool number to have when you don't have a
Exactly.
name.
You got a cool number. Why
I
do
get
people,
it.
Why do people love Derek Jeter's jersey? Because number 2 is a cool number to wear. 99 is a cool number to wear. What's Stan, 37 or something like that? 27? It's not as cool.
Okay. What jersey number does Mike Trout wear?
It's in the 20s, isn't it?
You're telling me you don't know his jersey number?
I don't look at the back. I don't look at his ass. I look at his face.
You
think
know a
it's-
lot of the jersey numbers on that list, though, right?
I think it's 27, right?
it's 27.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Judge, obviously. Who was number 2?
Let me pull that list back up. Number 2 is Altuve.
Okay. Wow, Altuve really went up there, didn't? Well, I get it.
He was
Because
coming off the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. Mookie Betts, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
Did Mookie get the MVP? He did. Right? Okay. I'm thinking he should have got it a little higher. He should have been number 2, if anything.
He shot up big time, though. He wasn't even in the top 15.
Well, no one thought he was going to be MVP like caliber and 108-win team.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways.
all that makes sense. But anyways, what would it be like if we all listened more? Listening to audiobooks inspires us, motivates us, even brings us closer. And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the greatest selection of audiobooks on the planet. And now Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, they get 3 titles of their choice. 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and finished programs they can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMCbook or by texting the code GSMCbook to 500-500. Remember, if you want to get this free 30-day trial for Audible, go to audible.com/GSMCbook or text the code GSMCbook to 500-500.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Target.
Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast.
Fudge.
What? What about fudge? What
do we got on tap there, bud?
Some news that's sort of mundane.
Why don't you just tell me the news?
You tell me the news.
No.
Rock, paper, scissors, loser tells the news.
Give the people what they want.
They want me to take a nap.
What? No, I don't think so, man. People might be driving. We don't want them falling asleep.
Don't crash. Stay awake. Turn left. Put your hand signal up. Turn right. Put your right signal up. Do a spin wheel. Spin wheel? Do a donut in the middle of the freeway.
I have something interesting.
I'm kidding. Don't actually do that. Please don't. What's up?
Kansas City Royals prospect. I don't know if you saw the video, but Brady Singer. He paid off his parents' debt for Christmas. I don't know if you saw the video, but the videos of his mother, I think she's reading a card that he gave her, and he says in there that he's paying off all the debt and basically thanked them for all the time and money that they spent in investing in his future as a baseball player, you know, taking him from practice to practice, game to game, buying him the gear that he needed. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I thought it was a really touching video.
I love those videos when they buy their mother's or dad's a house or something they desperately need and keep them going. It's one of those things you're grateful for the people that raised you and took you to where you are because you didn't do it on your own.
He said, the letter read, "Thank you for everything you've done to help me reach my dreams. There's absolutely no way I could have done all this by myself. Both of you constantly took off of work and spent every dime you made just to put a smile on my face. My smile and appreciation for both of you has never stopped, and it never will." So his mother went to
Yes, I paid your debts.
You know, she went to a silence. She was obviously emotional. The father, I thought, was cool because he was trying to keep it together, but he couldn't really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is something pretty cool. Also said in there, "Your giving hearts helped to shape my tiny dream into a reality." So he was taking 18th overall by the Royals and received a $4.25 million signing bonus. So I think he's taking some of that money and paying off the debt.
How much debt is the question?
I don't know.
I hope it's not $4 million.
I don't want to speculate.
I hope it's not $4 million. That's like he just lost all of his bonus then.
I'm
pretty
gonna
sure
go on a limb and say it's not that much, but I can't speak for that. So
okay, hopefully he still has some money left.
I'm sure he'll be fine. It sounds like with a kid like that, with a good head on his shoulders, that he will reach the majors, and
Is
that
he should
his get more money.
His cranium's good.
It sounds like when as somebody who's that thankful and that humble, like I'm sure he will be, and also being the 18th pick, he's obviously very talented. It's not just him being a good guy. He's obviously a special, gifted player. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he will be receiving a contract down the road that will pay him a lot more money than $4 million. I can almost say with certainty in today's Major League Baseball with the crazy
$4.3 million.
We're talking
Kidding,
about we were talking about two guys in the last segment that both might get at least $350 to $400 million.
Isn't that insane? We're talking about how like downhill slump the baseball world is, and people are still making and contracts in baseball are way bigger than both football and basketball, hands down.
And guaranteed, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, $400 million? Yeah, okay. How's baseball ratings are down? Am I getting my $400 million still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't care. I wouldn't care if no one went to the games, no one viewed my games. If I was getting paid $400 million over, 7-8 years?
Yeah. I think with baseball, they just play so many games that, like, even if they only get 20,000 fans to the game, they play 81 of those in their stadiums. It's like a lot of revenue coming in from the day-to-day type stuff, especially you go like a home, 3 or 4 game homestand or 7 game homestand, something like that. Then you get all these people spending money every day at the park on concessions and stuff like that. You have to think that's where a lot of this money comes from, right? Because
yeah, like but compared the contract to I don't know, Kirk Cousins' NFL contract, $84 million all guaranteed. Everyone's like, wow, that's all guaranteed. And then you look at Stanton, who's getting $327 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. That's quadruple what he's got.
The Toronto Blue Jays have acquired left-handed pitcher Clayton Rashard and cash considerations from the San Diego Padres. The Blue Jays will send a minor league outfielder, Connor Panis, to San Diego. But Clayton Rashard, he's been a decent pitcher in baseball, but he's getting a little bit up there in age, 35 years old. He was designated for assignment last week by the Padres. He was 7-11 this year with a 5.33 ERA and 27
He worked at
starts.
7-Eleven?
He did not. He made more money working for the Padres.
Get it?
I got it.
Get it.
What do you make of this? Is this a decent move for Toronto to try and, I don't know, bring out something in Rashard that he used to have, it seems like?
Trading for a 35-year-old pitcher is
what, Jeff?
I don't know. I don't know why you would. It seems like they think he still has what it takes to be a pitcher. But
maybe they're just trying to see if he can be a bargain. Like, maybe he could be decent and, because he pitched in 27 games last year. Maybe they're envisioning him as like a 4 or 5 in the rotation, like an innings eater, you do need those guys in baseball.
Yeah, you do, but 35 years old.
Like,
man.
you're not, I don't think they're necessarily counting on him to lead them to a playoff berth, but you got to think we do need a guy who will preserve our bullpen every now and then. So,
yeah, he's not going to be like their ace, right? I don't think that trade was meant to be that.
Right, absolutely not.
Yeah.
How about catcher Jonathan Lucroy? He's agreed to a 1-year deal with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California of the United States of the planet Earth. What do you think of that move?
On planet Earth?
Yeah, he signed with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of California of the United States of North America.
Oh, our running joke. God, I was like, what are you talking about on planet Earth? And I was like, oh, wait, you're right. That's our running joke.
He's a 2-time All-Star. He hit .241 with 4 homers and 51 ribbies last year in 126 games for the Athletics. He was also behind the plate when Sean Manaea threw the no-hitter.
Nah.
Fun fact.
That's just my
That means he called the no-hitter. He called it.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. But I would also say the fact that, it's just a signing. It's not crucial.
He also led the American League in number of runners thrown out, 31. That's pretty good. That's good.
He's a good defensive player. I mean, not the best hitter, but he's only 4 home runs in 120 games. Okay.
Okay, so Lucroy leads the majors with 213 runners caught since 2011. Mm-hmm. That's pretty interesting. You'd probably think of a guy like Yadier Molina or something like that, right? Like when you hear a stat.
Yadier is turning more into a hitter than a fielder.
Still. The Molinas can play some defense. The Molinas were good defensive.
You mean Benji? Are you talking about Benji?
There's 3
Molina?
of them, right? There's Benji.
Is there a third one?
Yeah, who's the third one?
I have no idea.
No, there's definitely 3. There's Benji. Martin Molina.
Right off the tongue, right? Who is he? What team is he on?
He doesn't play anymore. I don't think any of them play anymore except for Yadier.
Never mind then.
Mm-hmm.
Yadier is obviously the most successful.
Oh, it's Jose. Sorry, not Martin. I actually have a friend named Martin.
Where'd you get Martin from?
I have a friend named Martin Molina.
Wait, so you just thought it was okay?
It's Jose Molina. He played for 4 teams in baseball, including the Devil Rays,
That's bad.
the Blue Jays,
Okay.
the Cubs,
Okay.
and now he's the coach of.
That's not 4 teams you just named, by the way.
He's a coach in Puerto Rico for a team in Puerto Rico. He also played in the World Baseball Classic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and they all caught. They all are catchers.
What is up with his family and catchers?
They got the body type, man. They got the shorter, squattier type that you need. You can't be a tall catcher, right? Too hard.
I guess you're right.
But yeah, Lucroy. I mean, it might be an underrated signing. I know the A's are trying to get him.
Anything
back.
besides Harper and Machado are going to be underrated signings, dude.
Yeah, that's
It's true.
So, I mean, Lucroy is an all-star in 14 and 16, so it's not like he's so far removed from.
Only been 3 years.
He's 32 years old. I mean, he played 126 games last year. I think that's a nice little signing, and you get him for $3.35 million, which is, I mean, in today's baseball, that's definitely way under the average. Like
$3 million.
$3 million. Yeah.
You know how many people would kill to have $3 million?
Me, I would kill.
Don't say that on the air.
I would kill you.
So if I'm dead tomorrow, people know it's you that killed me.
I mean, they would use this podcast as evidence.
Yes.
They would arrest me, and they would charge me with first-degree murder.
Because you planned it out.
I didn't plan it. I just said I would do it if offered to me. Maybe second degree?
Wait, is first degree in like crime of passion?
No.
Wait, is first degree
First degree is when you plan it out.
Second is accidental or in the moment murder.
Yeah.
Third is I
think third
did it
is
with
like
my brain.
I think third is like when you're an ancillary part of it. Like if
oh, you're in the background.
you break into someone's house and then someone dies in the interaction, like
a heart attack or something.
Yeah, or even like somebody gets shot. Like you caused that because you made the first act, right? I don't know. This is going completely off the rail.
What's a fourth degree murder?
I don't think there is one.
What about a fifth? Or
I think
sixth?
that's called manslaughter at that point. I don't know. Anyways.
Doesn't manslaughter sound worse than murder?
I don't know. Matt Shoemaker agrees a 1-year deal with the Blue Jays. Free agent pitcher.
Best last name ever, Shoemaker. How come he didn't start a business called shoemaking?
Because he's a pitcher, and why would you want to do that when you could pitch and make millions of dollars?
But when he retires, he needs to go to a shoe business.
Hey,
he needs to work in it.
I don't know Matt Shoemaker.
Okay. How has no shoe company endorsed him? And like they do a commercial where he's actually making shoes.
Because maybe they met with him and he was like, I want to make the shoes. They're like, no, we'll make the shoes. He's like, well, then I'm not doing it.
In the commercial, he makes the shoes. Not actually.
I actually have the answer to this question. Because he is 40-32 in his 6 seasons with the Angels. In his first 6 seasons with the Angels.
That's a winning season.
He had 93 starts.
Nice. And?
In 2014, though, he went 16-4.
So in 2016, he should have gotten a deal from Foot Locker, making shoes in the back. Oh, I just created a perfect ad. Shoemaker making shoes in the back of Foot Locker before they get to the customer. Boom.
That's a perfect ad.
For Foot Locker, yes.
I think somebody should hire you as like chief marketing.
You think that would not be a
executive.
good Foot Locker commercial?
No. Because no one knows who Matt Shoemaker is.
It doesn't. Like, have the last name on the back, have his jersey as he's making it.
But
so
that's not. If you have to explain the joke, it's not a joke. That's the same thing.
No,
if you have to,
everyone wears their
explain
jerseys.
who the player is.
Hold up. Everyone wears their jerseys during the commercials like that. So what's the difference in this one?
I realize that, but if you have to explain who the person is, then it doesn't really. It's not going to work marketing wise.
Oh, Shoemaker, you need to have like an all-star season, become the greatest.
He was 16-4, so maybe he can replicate that.
No. I need him to throw like 6 or 7 perfect games.
That is actually insane.
I know. That's why. That's a perfect time to endorse him.
Get it?
Foot
Perfect
Locker.
time. I see what you're doing there.
Yes. Have at least 6 perfect games, Shoemaker, and you get your endorsement deal from Foot Locker, and my dream commercial becomes a reality.
You'll go from a shoemaker to a shoe wearer of your own signature shoe.
That's his last name. shoe wearer of his own signature shoe.
Shoe wearer.
My name is Mr. Shoe. Make my own signature shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to say.
I have nothing either. Thank you for joining us. I think we'll call it a day.
Join us next week.
Yes, next week we have more baseball news. Hopefully Harper finds an opening to enter a new team. Maybe Machado does. Maybe we'll see new trades. Regardless, we will see you next week.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.